Emerson gonna clear Mayato. Not gonna go low. He's gonna try and fake the 48. Travato using the inside lane. Mayato now up half a groove. The second position looks for his first race win. Oh, hard contact. Mayato up in the air, up on the hood, on top of the Geico machine. All over his back bumper, and has to be very tactical with his moves. Oh, and hard under braking. Travato nearly locked it up there. St. Bear's big slide out of turn number 1. Here comes Chris Samard, Kevin Cornelius. They're going to make a charge in the third lane. Is it too little, too late? Are they going to have the run out of turn number 4? Mark Emerson down low. They're all going to wreck. Dennis Fairclough in the lead right now. Here comes Nick Gardner. Hello and welcome to the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series live tonight from Watkins Glen International for the VSPEED Garage 125 at the Glen. Here tonight in the booth with Zach Halpern. Zach, how's it going?
I'm doing great, Adam. How about yourself?
Awesome. A bit of a homecoming or a home track for me, and really looking forward to good road course racing action here tonight from the Glen. Always puts on a good show. And we've got some great road course drivers here in the league. What are you expecting here tonight?
Well, Watkins Glen, as I've said before, is one of my favorite tracks in all of NASCAR, and it's definitely my favorite road course. And I'm not a fan of the road courses, so for me to say something like that says a lot about this track. It always provides great racing and different skill sets in different parts of the track. You'll really see some drivers struggle in certain parts and do great in others. As always, though, we got to look at the two fastest drivers in practice right now as the possible favorites for the win tonight. Zach Carr and Keith Mayato, they're always great at these road courses, and posting the fastest practice times is not surprising.
Yeah, there's definitely some common characters up there right now in the practice leaderboards, but a couple guys that might surprise you around a place like this would be Chris Samard. He's a pretty solid road course driver. The Pelican brothers definitely very strong at these road courses as well, so keep an eye out for all of those. Tonight's race is going to be 40 laps, just under 100 miles. Age rake being lap number 12, and that will be the only caution thrown, as cautions will be turned off except for massive track blocking events. This is halfway through the season as the drivers enter into tonight's race. The points are tight right around the cut line. We'll actually pull up to the top 20 here. Take a look at how that stands. Only 12 drivers can advance into the playoffs. Right now there are 5 drivers locked in. You can see 4 of them here inside the top 20 in the standings. Zach Carr, AJ Stravato, they're sitting at the top of the points for the regular season. Zach Carr, his 4 wins. Stravato has 2, 1 last week. Ryan Gemmel, Reggie Ortega, Angelo Ronas in the top 5. Hatchell, Jeremy Miller, Alex Pelican, Keith Mayato, Jeremiah Vincent, Chris Samard, Bradley Wilson, all currently sitting inside the top 12. But Alec Martinez, who has a race win, is locked in, assuming he runs the rest of the regular season races outside the top 20. So that actually moves the cut line 1 spot farther up. All those drivers on the outside so close in points, getting into the top 12. 21st on back. Some drivers already eliminated unless they get a race win. They're in the blue, purple color. Those drivers, they will not be able to make the playoffs unless they get a race win. There is no way for fans. So some drivers are on the hot seat to try and get it done. Only 3 races left. Regular. Very intense for some drivers. Pull up our qualifying ticker. Drivers are out on the track for the qualifying session. Pretty good sized field here tonight, so very interesting around this racetrack. We have a track map tonight, so you can where your favorite drivers are running around here and kind of where all the cars are on track. that point race. As taking a look here with Alex Pelican, who comes across the line of 1:13.47. Nice lap there, but not quick enough to top Chris Samard. And Zach Carr, lap number 1 of 1:13.13. He attempts a second lap here. I'm not sure if they have a second lap. He works his way up through the S's, such a tricky section. In some of the other NASCARs, these have a lot of downforce, though, compared to an Xfinity or a truck car.
And it looks like the drivers do only have 1 lap of qualifying, so that will be Zach Carr's time, as right now he sits in 3rd place.
Yeah, so currently 2 VSPEED drivers at the top of the board here in the VSPEED Garage 165. Zach Carr, points leader coming into the race, sitting 3rd. Angelo Ronas gets 4th on the board there. Let's look at AJ Stravato, who is working through the last couple of corners. Little wiggle there through turn 6. Coming onto the front straight here. Across the stripe, 1:13.19. That'll put him 5th spot. Yeah, knock Alex Pelican down 1. Alec Martinez starting his first hot lap here. He'll be right at that 5-minute mark when he gets to start finish line, assuming he gets around here cleanly. A big slide through the S's right there. This is not the newest version of Watkins Glen. This is an old scan of the racetrack. The new track actually is much smoother than this, but you'll see some bumps and divots here around this race course. Don't really exist there, and also some runoff areas that aren't on this version of the track. So it gets a bit tricky, and you have to drive it a little differently than you would in real life. Cup drivers, they run these turns a little bit differently, knowing they've got paved runoff versus grass and gravel, as Alec Martinez big wiggle out of the final corner. Towards the start finish line, looks like a good lap. 1:12.93, going to be just short of the pole. He'll go to 2nd, as the drivers now wrapping up their session. Qualifying will head to drivers meeting. We'll look at the track temp here before we do jump to commercial break. 79-degree air temp, 124 degrees on the track, so going to be pretty slick out there. Drivers just getting lap times. Jeremiah Vincent go to 14. Adkins, first lap didn't count. He must have gone off track, but scored right around there as well. He'll start from the rear instead. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the start of this race in just a few.
Welcome to VSPEED, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between 1st and 2nd going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Back at the racetrack now with your starting grid for the VSPEED Garage 125. Starting on pole here tonight from Watkins, Glen, it's going to be Chris Samard, the number 37 V. He'll be joined on the front row by Alec Martinez, the number 18 race winner this for another one here at the Glen. Keith Mayato rolls off from third position. Zach Carr, the points leader, starting from fourth. Going off from fifth, it'll be Angelo Ronas. AJ Stravato starts from sixth. Seventh will be Alexander Pelican. Eighth will be Ryan Gemmel. Ninth is going to be Dennis Faircloth. Bradley rounding out the top 10. 11th, it's Reggie Ortega. 12th, Joshua Abbey. 13th, Lane Sulfridge. 14th, Jeremiah Vince. 15th, Brandon Pearl. Dallas Sullivan starting first of the drivers to not get a time in. 17th, Garrett Wolfenbarger. 18th, Anthony Pelican. 19th, Michael Newman, and rounding out the top 20 is Brett Sommers. First, it'll be Tony Baird. 22nd, Cody Adkin, going off 23rd. And final spot on the grid tonight, it'll be Timmy Emanuele. 23 drivers here tonight from Watkins Glen. A pretty good race. That's a good size field. We can wait for them to get rolling here.
And starts and restarts at this track are so important for a lot of these drivers. It's a lot about surviving, but for others, they feel like they might be able to make up some track position and get some spots here on the start. And that inside line is no slouch when it comes to these starts and restarts. They definitely can gain position, but we've seen turn one cause a lot of accidents, and it's very prone. You go from high speed to hard braking, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see an accident here tonight in turn one.
Yeah, definitely calamity corner at this racetrack. A 90-degree turn straight off of that front straightaway. It gets pretty tight through there. Really easy to miss your braking zone. Yeah, what happens here? Usually that comes as the tires get a little bit hot, but they're all packed up here for the start of this race. It can definitely happen. We do want to let you know about the sponsor of tonight's race. That is VSPEED Garage. That is a YouTube channel that we've got that focuses on real-world automotive repair and automotive content. Check us out. VSPEED Garage right here on. Also find us on Instagram at VSPEED Garage. Check us out. Give us support over there, and sponsoring the race tonight as the home track for the sponsor. Hoping for a good result here from the VSPEED drivers. We'll see how they do. Chris Samard, of course, starting on the pole, looking for his first race win in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. Driver who definitely very strong at these road courses. Not a surprise to see him on the pole here. Drivers farther back in the field are going to have a bit of work cut out for them. That's going to be Anthony Pelican, 99, rolling off from 8. Timmy Emanuele rolling off from shotgun on the field, into third. He's been focusing a lot on endurance racing. Looking for some performance from him tonight. An eye on those drivers towards the rear of the field. Pace car rolling through the final corner here. Going to pull off, and the field will be in the hands of Chris Samard and Alec Martinez in row number 1. As the flagman with his green flag in his hand. There it is, green flag. We're underway from Watkins Glen. Headed down towards turn number 1. Chris Samard with the early advantage. Oh, and contact there between the 18 of Alec Martinez and Keith Mayato, and they're going around Zach Carr. Alec Martinez, they're stacking up. Dennis Faircloth goes around. And disaster for a few drivers, like you mentioned. And we've got more wrecking up into the S's. The 51 of Bradley Wilson, hard into the outside wall. Go back and take a look here. This all started with the 18 of Alec Martinez getting collected off the nose of Mayato, who came up the track just a little bit. Alec couldn't hang on to it, or he did hang on to it, but the 27 got involved, and then around goes those other machines. Dennis Faircloth with some big hits right there. He may have to take it behind the wall already. Yeah, Reggie Ortega, big hit. The 5 of Joshua Abbey and the 51 of Bradley Wilson went spinning as well. So quite a few drivers involved as Chris Samard gotten away. There won't be any yellows tonight. Stage break comes at lap 12. That will be the only caution unless a track blocking wreck happens. Although that was pretty close to one right there.
Yeah, definitely close to the whole track being blocked. Those drivers really didn't have much room to maneuver around that, and we saw a lot of drivers get involved because of that. But there is a stage break coming at lap 12, and that will give these drivers a chance to reset, get some damage fixed, and look forward to the next stage. But for drivers like Chris Samard and Ryan Gemmel, they're now looking for that stage win, and only the stage winner gets points, I believe now. Correct, Adam?
Yeah, just the one playoff point available for that stage winner. But Chris Samard could be looking at a playoff point. Currently inside the top 12 in the standings. He's towards the bottom of the top 12, but this is a really good opportunity to make up some points. Great run here tonight. Even a win could lock him in. Ryan Gemmel's been very close a few times this season. No slouch on the road course here at Watkins Glen either. Nearly had a victory last season. Kind of pulled away from him, but right now 3 VSPEED lead the field, and then Angelo Ronas 17 car hard up on the curb there. He's got some nose damage on that race car. Riding in 4th, Alex Pelican 5th, Reggie Ortega in 6th, AJ Servato 7th. Big gap back to Brandon Pearl, who a second pack of race cars. Jeremiah Vincent in Sulfridge rounding out the top 10. Dallas Sullivan, though, making the move on lane right there into turn 1. He'll get it done, and here comes Jeremiah going to try and make the move on Brandon Pearl. They'll go side by side through the S's. This is a tricky section to do. That big wiggle by Brandon. Slots in the line. He is still chasing that car onto the straightaway. Here they are into the braking zone, and he's going to miss it. Going to go straight through the bus stop. Locks it down. He'll have to come to a complete stop or give up the time that he got there as an advantage. He will roll back in the line, 15th position. So lots of spots lost after that mistake, and the tire is going to be pretty unhappy about that. How about Zach Carr already charging up a few spots? He was 17th just 2 laps ago. Right now challenging for 13th. Cody Adkins as they race side by side through turn 6.
As painful as that was for Zach Carr, it's great for us up here in the booth because it's going to be very entertaining watching him climb back up through the field. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him back up in the top 5, possibly even in the lead by the end of this race. He only has a little bit of damage, I believe, on that right rear too, so he should be okay. As Alec Martinez swings it wide, he's got no front bumper, and he's going to merge right back in front of Zach Carr, but gets by clean.
Yeah, we just saw the Martin sports cars all clumped up right there on screen as well. Yeah, Alec Martinez, big damage on the nose of that car. Involved in the turn 1 incident. Right now running 13th. Gave that spot up to Zach Carr, who's closing in on the top 10. Definitely chaos out here to start things. That high track temp, that'll do it for you. Put the car on pit road. That is Dennis Faircloth, who gets some damage repaired. He was a driver I also had picked out as maybe an opportunity to win here tonight. Driver who's very good on these road courses. That number 80 car. Right now, Chris Samard leading the field. He'll take them down into turn number 1 for lap 5. 2 seconds in and over Ryan Gemmel, who's starting to close up just a little bit. Last time was a 10th quicker, but he's got Keith Mayato hot on his tail. These two teammates, no strangers to each other this season. They've gotten into it a couple times. Keith already advancing into the playoffs. Just a few more solid runs here to close out the regular season.
Another great battle occurring on track is between the 46 car and 9 car as they're about to go into this bus stop. The 46 car is going to look inside and outbrake the 9 car. 9 car might have just given him the room there and said take it. Doesn't want to slow them up anymore as they know they've started further back, and they've both moved up fairly significant amount of spots here at the beginning of the race.
Dallas is up 8 positions. Jeremiah up 5. I know Jeremiah, his goal when it comes to these road courses is just to survive. Try and have a clean car at the end. Do that, you often end up with a very good finish races. Dallas, a very strong road course racer as well. We saw Xfinity Series here in below the double yellow at the Charlotte Roval. He was up there defending in the top 10 and came away with the top 10. Keep an eye on him to continue to move forward. Of course, if you haven't already, cheer on your favorite driver and let us know you're out there watching and enjoying. We'll try and follow along with them throughout the race. A lot of fan favorites here.
Oh, and a hard hit for the 81 car. He messes up turn 1, gets slick from that hot track and slams into the inside wall.
Oh,
and he collects another car. The 5 car, Joshua Abbey, gets collected as the 7 car has to slow down of Brett Somers. That is very unfortunate.
Let's see what happened here. Cody racing up with, that is Wolfenbarger. Just gets on the gas a little bit too hard, tries to hang on to it, goes into the outside barrier, like you said, very hard. And I believe he backed up. Yep, he backs up here and then doesn't see Joshua Abbey and then tags the 5 who slams the wall. That Armco barrier. Joshua Abbey, his night probably over with that hit. He'll continue rolling, but heavy damage to the 5 machine. And I believe he's just going to send it right through the bus stop right there and probably just try and work that car back around the pit lane and get damage repaired on that car. Already a race of attrition. We saw that last week at Gateway, and now here at the Glen. Sometimes it's like that at these road courses. Still battling going on back here. Zach Carr to the inside of Anthony Pelican into the bus stop, hard on the binders. See just how smooth that Zach is, even with the damage on that car, still making progress. Alec Martinez as well. He'll move past Anthony Pelican into 11th, but that car has seen better days. He has no front clip. Really struggling on these long straightaways here at Watkins Glen.
I'm surprised he's able to keep up with Zach Carr right now. He hasn't really fallen behind him. I know Zach Carr has to work through this traffic, but still, with all that damage Alec has, he might be able to pull out a top 10 here tonight and salvage something out of a very unfortunate start.
Yeah, both he and Zach Carr the previous lap were some of the fastest on the track. Anthony Pelican takes a peek down to driver's right into turn 1, but not going to make it. Alex still struggling for grip in that car. Very understandable that he doesn't have a lot of downforce, doesn't have the whole front end, and the back end's all crumpled up. Still putting down some pretty solid laps, so got to commend him for that.
His brake should be staying a little bit cooler though than everyone else's, at least.
That's true, and the engine. You'd hope, unless the radiator's bashed out of it, but he is still running for now. A driver who has made up a spot while we were taking a look back there, that is Keith Mayato getting by Ryan Gemmel. Setting his sights on race leader Chris Samard. He's already been a bit quicker the last couple laps. Gap now back down to 2 seconds. See at the line here, yeah, another 2/10 taken off for Mayato, but he may just run out of time before stage 1 comes. Go on board with him here for a second though, up through the S's. There's lap traffic up away from these drivers. I believe that is Dennis Faircloth back on the racetrack. Oh, that's actually, yeah, Dennis was in between leaders. He's going to take it through the bus stop and out of the way for that lead battle as Mayato big wiggle out of the bus stop. Rona's sticking right up here with these top 3 drivers. He's in that 4th spot. Some pretty good lap times, very consistent right now. Only about 4.8 seconds behind Chris Samard. Alex Pelican in the 5th position. AJ Servato, I believe that damage is hampering him. Rides 6th right now. Their battles and Pelican, Jeremiah Vincent, Alec Martinez. This big cluster of race cars exiting turn 7. Definitely grouped up together, and some moves could be made by. Here goes Zach Carr. He might take a look on the inside of Dallas Sullivan. Can't get there. The race lead now down to 1.2 seconds as Mayato continues to chip away at Chris Samard. Last lap, he was still 0.2 faster, but he's made up quite a bit. I think Samard with a little mistake on the front end of this track. Samard through turn 6, now into turn number 7. He'll go back onto the front straightaway under the bridge towards the start finish line. The gap just around 1.5 seconds. Mayato didn't get out of turn 7 very well, but still that time about 1/10.5 faster. You can chop away. They'll have 2 more laps in the stage. Can Mayato get there? He'll have to be quite a bit faster these next 2 laps.
Pit road has already been closed for these drivers, so anyone looking to possibly pit early and maybe gain an advantage at the start of the next stage are not going to be able to.
32, Wolfenbarger, like he just rolled off of, no, actually, and he started from pit lane, I believe. Did not hit at all in skid. Nobody has except for Joshua Abbey and Faircloth, who are in there for extended amounts of time and are multiple laps down. Race lead still about 1.5, 1.6 seconds as Mard is stabilized right around here. Actually extending it through turn 6 and 7 each lap. Mayato actually losing a little time this lap, pushing that car really hard. The last lap of the stage for Chris Samard, looking for his first playoff point. For other battles here, that car still all over the back bumper of Dallas Sullivan, but he may have used up all tires underneath him. Zach holds the record for largest margin of victory here in below the double yellow with 38 seconds keeping that record. That was at Coda earlier this season. Look at the big wiggle from Dallas Sullivan right in front of him. Will be for 8th coming to the stage break. About 18 seconds behind race leader Chris Samard, who still holds a margin over Keith Mayato into the last couple of corners. Here he comes out of turn number 7, nice and smooth. Front straightaway to the attention of the flagman, and he will win stage number 1. They throw the yellow here. There it is, kind of a late call, but Chris Samard, stage winner here at Watkins Glen. Great driving from 37. Able to avoid all that chaos behind him on the start.
Definitely a breath of relief for a lot of these drivers. I see a lot of drivers struggling, their rear tires spinning off of every single turn, and they're praying to get back down pit road and take some tires. I know Alec is very active on the radio right now, just apologizing to everyone who ends up getting stuck behind him. He said he has no grip in the car, and the damage is definitely playing a big part in that, but also the track temp is not helping either.
And he was seconds slower than Chris Simard last time around, so shows how much grip was lost in that race car. But stage winner Chris Simard here leads flag to flag for stage number 1. They'll have another lap work around the track before they come to pit lane. We're going to go to a quick commercial. Right back.
Simulators Anonymous is an online gaming community. The heart of this community is playing simulator-style games, everything from driving, farming, flying to the occasional survival game. We would love for you to join us. If you play these style of games, or if you're just looking for a great community, we strive to be a community you can be an active participant in by offering events like every third Saturday night is a late night trucking on Truckers MP. We have a very own Minecraft server with other servers starting soon. Come join Simulators Anonymous today at www.simulatorsanonymous.com.
Boston Web Marketing is New England's largest full-service web marketing company specializing in SEO, SEM, website design, social media management, reputation management, and more. Founded in 2009, we have rapidly expanded and are able to service small to large clients nationally as well as worldwide. We are a long-standing Google partner with a large team of SEO specialists, certified AdWords professionals, web designers, social media experts, and web marketing gurus. Our team provides excellent, knowledgeable, and highly effective web marketing services. Contact us today to get started. 617-676-8109. www.getfoundquick.com.
At the racetrack now, we're going to be pulling up our stage winner. Also going to be racing her cycle out. Looks like Michael New Pelican being on the racetrack for the out here. Chris Simard, Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Chris, looking very strong out there here tonight at Watkins Glen. You led all of those laps in stage 1. You get your first playoff point of this season. How was the car feeling for you there?
It was actually pretty good. I was just kind of trying to take my time. I was kind of losing a little bit to Keith there at the end, but I felt pretty good. You know, the start of the race there was kind of hectic. I blew turn 1 and then everyone crashed behind me. So I don't know if it was my fault or not, but that actually helped me out just to take it easy. So
yeah, it looked like the 18 went into the corner about the same as you, and then they got together behind 36 and getting together started all of that. But got out in front of it, and now you've got potentially the race lead here for this second bit. You know, what's going to be your mindset for the next 25 laps?
Well, I'm definitely not as fast as Keith. He was catching me there. I'm just going to take it as easy as I can. I think Michael Newman is the leader here, so I'm just going to take it as easy as I can and see how it goes. I mean, if Keith is a lot faster than me, I might as well just let him by, because I don't want to screw up my race. I'm doing so good right now, so I'm just going to try and race the track and see how it goes.
All right, you're doing a great job of that so far. You'll be returning on the front row. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you, Adam.
Samard stage winner. He will be restarting second. Michael Newman elects to stay out. The only driver to do so. 16-lap-old tires. This could get very interesting down into turn 1. There was about 3 seconds of fall off with the way the track temp is. So he is going to be kind of a moving chicane amongst all these other chicanes that are around this track. I don't really understand that call. What do you through the mind of the driver of the number 12?
Possibly get an extra point for leading a lap. I'm really not too sure. Maybe he just feels he doesn't have the car to win the race, and will try to get as many points as he can here.
Yeah, I think the bonus point is actually called because it's pretty close to the top 12, if not already in the top 12. So just try and earn those points and create a gap probably to drivers below the cut line, but put himself in a very vulnerable spot here. We'll see how he handles it, and we'll see how all the drivers behind him still have led potentially a couple laps if they get back to the start-finish line.
And I do know one thing. These drivers are going to have to not do what they did last time and limit their mistakes. They're going to have to be like Andre 3000. Keep it cool. Keep it ice cold, baby.
That is for sure. Track is not the same mindset right now. Really high track temp. They're going to begin stage 2. Green flag in the air. 12 gets away pretty nicely. Really good restart there for Michael Newman. He'll be side by side with Angelo Ronis and Chris Samard as the 12 overshoots the corner. Maybe on purpose, but Ronis goes wide as well. That'll hand the race lead back to Chris Samard. He'll lead them up through the S's, uphill. Right hand to left hand, back to the right here onto the straightaway. Long stretch towards the bus stop. They are side by side farther back. AJ Stravato, Ryan Gemmel. AJ looking for a couple wins in a row. Nobody giving. Headed into the bus stop. They make contact. The 33 off the 6. He'll go sliding into the gravel. Jeremiah Vincent as well, and also the 21 of Alex Pelican slow in the bus stop. So there's a bit of chaos for you there on a restart lap. Let's go back and take a look at how that happened. Nobody lifting there as Gemmel goes to the inside. AJ, headed for the same piece of real estate. Jeremiah Vincent wide there. Alex Pelican with an issue separate, I believe. Oh, there was big contact for the 32, and 9 and the 21 got together. Garrett Wolfbarger and his teammate Brandon Pearl hard into the barrier as they all get rolling again, but the 12 of Michael Newman, he hits the wall out of the bus stop and battle for the race lead. Keith Mayato takes it out of turn number 1. Making the move on Chris Samard. He's going to try and run and hide. And for his second race win of the season. A couple more favorites taken out in that set of incidents.
Very interesting race so far tonight at Watkins Glen. You normally do not see these many incidents. They're normally very isolated and don't collect drivers that too often, but tonight's been different, and I don't really have much to say about it, but Keith Mayato back in the lead, even though he's got a very heavily dented in rear bumper.
It doesn't seem to be affecting him, at least on the short run. Zach Carr, another driver, up here in 4th. Alec Martinez 5th. As yeah, Mayato leading the way. He's up by about 3/4 of a second on Chris Samard. Thing to see if they can stretch it 25 laps on fuel, 75% fuel load. Chris maybe just trying to run smoothly here, save his tires. Needs to go burn them up. You can see kind of start to fall off on those last 2 laps. Gain on the front side of the track, and then Chris was a lot faster through turns 6 and 7, able to pull back another 10th or so.
The only problem this time for Chris is he's got 2 cars behind him looking to make some passes here with Zakhar and Angelo Horonis not too far behind. And he's going to still have to make a pass on Keith. Keith had to burn his stuff up that last run trying to get by drivers, so it's going to be definitely a tough situation for him to do, but I do see them coming down pit road, and it might come down to who can nail their pit stops.
That'll be an interesting call for the drivers to figure out when to pit. They do have to make that final pit stop. Because if you short pit, you might have an advantage for a couple laps, but on the worst end of that, the back end of that run, you'll have the worst tires, and often comes out or ends up being like really close at the end of these races with those strategy calls. One driver tracking down another one, and it all comes down to making that final pass. We are about to see a pass potentially to third. Zach Carr has gotten to the back bumper of Angelo Ronis up through the S's. He is there, really wheeling that race car. Looking forward here, headed into the bus stop. Patient and wait on take from Angelo, who gets really all up over those curbs. They are closing in on Chris Samard, who's fallen about, actually stabilized right now, about 8/10 behind Mayato. Like we said, he's definitely better on this end of the racetrack. Really good through the first couple corners and the S's. Change of position as well. Dallas Sullivan gets by Reggie Ortega, but Reggie going to try and cross him over. They'll be side by side in turn 7. Reggie back to 7th. Dallas shuffle back to 8th. Here comes Bradley Wilson, maybe going to make a move into turn number 1. I think it was Bradley at Coda, if I remember correctly, who was really gliding around these corners. That he was a lot of fun to watch. We'll see if he does the same thing here second half of this race.
Yeah, you're right about that. He was definitely putting on a show for us there at Coda, and he's been working his way back up through the field. I think he might have gotten involved in a couple of those incidents, but he's not drifting through the current corners as he was last time, but he's definitely a lot steadier tonight, and speed is showing for sure.
Yeah, looking pretty fast right now after starting 10th. A lot of nose damage still running in the top 10. A driver who needs a good performance. He's top 12 in points. He'd like to stay there, I think. We want to be able to stay as close to the rest of the playoff field as he can. Right now, if he, nice solid top 10, maybe even a top 5. Able to push pretty hard here in the second half. Might end up gaining a lot of points and solidifying himself top 12. Car slow side on the front straightaway. That is Michael Newton, who's gone a lap down. Heavy damage after has pit here during this run. He stayed out during first caution though. Now 1 lap down. Saw the error of his ways or his decision and really paid the price. He's currently 20th for the 22 drivers, and might have been running a bit better than that if he hadn't made that call, but say exactly where he'd be at. It's the 36 of Keith Mayato feeling the pressure from Chris Samard. Goes back up now 0.3 of a second difference. Top 4 all within striking distance. That car only 1.5 seconds back. Not often these Any cars this close front of the field, this far into a race. Even Alec Martinez and Ryan Gemmel, they're all within seconds of the leader. All running very close in terms of lap time. Fastest for Ronas, 113, no, 113.9. Not a 114.9, so either saving or he's burned his stuff up. He is feeling the pressure from his teammate Hard, who is looking for his first win. Out of the carousel, still just 2 or 3 car lengths. Angelo Ronas starting to feel the pressure from that car pretty heavily right now as they dive into turn number 6. Zach going to outbrake him just a bit, closes up to 1 car length. 6 and 7, this little short shoot here, back to the right. Zach just not able to get the run on Angelo, though. The 17 spun his tires a little bit. Still 1 car length between them. That is where Zach Carr is so good, though, on the brakes and back on the throttle pedal. Look at this. He gets a peek to the inside of the 17. Not going to make that move into the S's. Very dangerous spot. Waiting for a mistake from Angelo as they all run very quick right now. Really holding anybody up. Ryan Gemmel has faded a little bit off the back of Alec Martinez. Very impressive from Alec. Scored outside the top 20 in the standings as a race win. For a second one here, and what a comeback it would be to have that car the way it's looking right now in victory lane.
Yeah, it's definitely a surprise to see him running top 5 after it really does look like he has some of the worst damage on the track, but sometimes the damage isn't what we think it is, and it can be a little bit different for the driver. Sometimes damage can actually help them, so maybe the fact that he's slower on the straightaways, and as he comes down pit road, actually first driver of the top 5 to come down pit road. Interesting strategy call, so it looks like they might be able to make it to the end from here if they come down pit road, but Alec the first to pit.
Trying to set himself up for the end, and the run will be 15 laps just like it was at the start of the race, or right around as long as it was at the start of the race. Pull into his box there. Have service started on that race car. Give it a chance to pull off possibly as well. Top 2 drivers, only 2 car lengths apart into the bus stop. Keith Mayato sends it down in there. Chris seems to be able to close up just a little bit there, and then Carousel, he's been very smooth and has been able to close to the 36. Back end step out just a little bit. He is really pushing that race car. Chris able to keep it a bit smoother, the pressure on, trying to force a mistake from the 36 driver who we don't see mistakes from very often. Here comes Chris Samard to the pit lane. Mention of his crew. He'll get topped up on fuel and some fresh Goodyear tires. This might trigger some of the other leaders to bring it down. We'll see if anybody else farther back in the field elects to do so. Like I think Chris, the only one of the leaders this lap. That'll create a gap from Mayato to Zach Carr, who's gotten past Angelo Ronas. Angelo running a very solid race, one of the top 10 drivers this season. Quietly in and week out, I think he's 1 or 2 podiums. Just chipping away each and every week, getting better and better. Very competitive here tonight. Zach Carr, big correction on the exit of the carousel. Interesting, the top 3 drivers all have some form of damage one way or another. Different parts of their race car, and they're all up here running great lap times.
A little bit of a mistake from the 6 car right there, Ryan Gemmel, as he runs off track right before turn 7. Not too bad of a mistake. He will be able to keep it going after that, but he definitely lost some time there. And being about 5 seconds behind the leaders is not going to help you out if you're looking for a race win. He's going to have to look for a strategy coming forward to possibly get the race win. Maybe fuel only and stay out longer.
Yeah, that could be an option. If you can do the overcut, sometimes that'll work. He's just going to run out of laps, I think. Not a whole lot left in the race. But how about Bradley Wilson closing up? Biden in 5th. Very competitive right now. Alec Martinez currently sits in front of Chris Simard as they have gotten back on track, have fresh tires. Alex 1 lap older. Right now, guys ride 13, 14, closing up on Garrett Wolfenbarger in the S's. Slow them down just a little bit. Big factor to consider when trying to do a pit strategy. Take a look at the race lead. So approaching the final corner, we'll see if these top 3 bring it in. Almost looked like they were going to for a second there. Angelo staying out. Bradley Wilson's gotten by. Ryan Gemmel. They are both missing out. I think Ryan might be in conservation mode right now. Go on board with it. Turn number 1 just a bit right there, hard on the brakes. Could be the damage affecting him, could just be the tires are gone, but it's definitely falling off here. Reggie Ortega, Timmy Emanuele, both bringing it on the pit lane. There. Keep an eye out for other drivers.
This battle for the lead is getting very tight. Zach Carr just outbreaks Keith Mayato, but Keith Mayato has different parts of the track where he's strong at. We mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, these drivers have different strengths, and Zach Carr definitely able to outbreak Keith Mayato. You'll see him close up to the back bumper here. A lot of drivers, it's a very difficult thing to do, is trail braking. Not many people can do it, and Zach Carr showing he's very capable of doing it and closing the gap a lot of times as he just messes up turn 7. Actually, he's coming down pit road, not messing up, along with Angelo Coronas. So Keith Mayato staying out, and the 27 car of Zach Carr and 17 car of Angelo Coronas coming down pit road.
And this cost, although we've seen it work with the overcut in the past, Zach Carr and Angelo Coronas both working their way down pit lane. They'll probably get passed up by Alec Martinez and Chris Simard when they get up to that point on the track. AJ Servato also brings it down to pit lane.
And a slight mistake by Zach Carr down pit road as he overshot his pit stall just by a little bit. He's going to be delayed a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see if Angelo Hornets possibly beats him out pit road, and that will hurt him.
There goes Angelo. Really good drive out of the box. He will get in front of Zach Carr. Chris Simard and Alec Martinez, they're already headed into the S's. That is the advantage of about 3 laps. Fresher tires. They will pay for it on the back end of the run. Already about a half second off of their fast times race. Eye on Keith Mayato, the race leader. More corners this lap. He probably is going to have to bring it in. I don't think it'd make a lot of sense to stay out much longer. Will stay out, so he's got something, got a strategy in mind that I don't know. But Bradley Wilson, he's going to come in this time. Again, we'll go out. Pelican elects to pit. Well, as Alex Pelican. Alex both bringing it in. Mayato, the last of those top 3 or 4 drivers. 3 drivers actually in total are staying out. That'll be Mayato, Gemmel, Sullivan. Top 3 at the moment. Now Sullivan riding in the 3rd spot. About 11 and a half now. 12 seconds back of Mayato.
Keith Mayato might be thinking this clean track is nice for a change, and he has no one near him, no one behind him, no one in front of him really. He's got clean air front and back, and he might be pulling off a strategy just to make everyone else work through all that traffic, and he has a clean track. So we'll be seeing what he does here in the coming laps.
If you look at his lap times, though, his fast lap in this race is a 1:12.8. Last lap was a 1:16.8, and you can see he has lost a lot of grip compared to Alec Martinez running a 1:14.1. They're gaining about 2 seconds a lap as Keith drive out here, but he might be thinking he can stretch at the distance. Now looking like he is not even considering bringing it down the pit road. Got 22 seconds back to Alec. Fighting in that pit position.
Tell you what, Adam, if he can stretch the fuel, I don't really see the chance of any driver catching back up to him. I think it's too big of a gap with about 9 laps to go.
Yeah, even if they maintained this pace, they wouldn't get there. They won't maintain this pace. They'll fall off and be much closer to keep. He is just tiptoeing right now, trying to keep the tires on it as much as possible. Could be a race-winning strategy. It could also be a race-losing strategy if it doesn't go the right way. Alec Martinez and Chris Simard, they are nose to tail right now, and Alec driving for his life as he gets off in the grass just a bit out of the bus stop. Angelo Ronas and that car, they're running about a second a lap faster than closing in, fighting in 7. Angelo driving hard to stay in front of 7. On top 3 though, Mayato 1 and now into the S's. 7.7 seconds over Ryan Gemmel, who stayed on track. Now Sullivan, he'll stay on track, 12.5 back. Martinez now 20 seconds. So there's another 2 seconds chopped out of it. They're going to have a car right there in front of them. That's the 00 Brandon Earl, just exiting pit lane laps ago. He's got fresh tires, but really struggling at the moment. Let these tires on by on the backstretch.
Thankfully, that wasn't the real-life 00. I know we tend to think that the 00 in real life causes a lot of issues, but not here on iRacing, thankfully.
Good job there getting out of the way. Next car's in line to get past him. That'll be Angelo Ronas and Zach Carr, and they're set up to battle out of the carousel. Good run for the 27. He's going to look right. No room there. Now looks back. Left possibly. No, he'll stay right in line. Knowing that he's got the advantage. He's a bit faster. He's actually got a great run through 6, but half car in the way. Be able to make the move work right there. Yeah, look at that Brandon Pearl. Big wiggle, and Bill's struggling to get the grip underneath him. Turn 1 really hot into that corner. It looks like 17 goes a little bit wide, but able to get back on the throttle. He'll stay in front of that car. Chris Simard now working past Alec Martinez side by side through the S's. This will cost them a lot of time. You see Angelo and Zach Carr closing up. Chris able to complete the pass. Alec, though, looks back to driver's right to make that move. Chris really fast into the bus stop, kind of overshot his mark. Now Alec looks back to right side, and now we've got a 4-car group on fresh tires. Side by side out of the carousel. Alec Martinez doing a fantastic job in a car that's joined the modified class. Continues to try and force the 37 into mistakes. It's working right now. Chris Simard goes wide there. So does Angelo Ronas. Side by side in turn 7. Looks like Simard finally hasn't cleared. Here goes Zach Carr, though. Sideways out of the corner. Great battle. Chris Simard comes out on top. He could be set up to win this race. Top 3 can't make it on fuel. Got Zach Carr. He's going to have to hold off the 37 and the 27. Marching forward.
Zach Carr punted, not punted, but he definitely moved Alec out of the way there, and he sees how slow Alec is on those straightaways. He got by him, and now it's between the 27 and the 37, as you mentioned, for possibly the race win here tonight.
Can't tell for sure if Keith and the rest of those top 3 are They're going to be good on fuel, but now side by side out of the bus stop, Samard with a mistake there. That's going to give the position to the 27 machine, and Chris really struggling right now. They've got the older tires than these two going by. There goes Angelo Ronas now. Chris, like you said, just needs a solid run. Going to try and settle in right here and try and hold off Alec Martinez, who is all over his back bumper.
While this is hurting all these 4 drivers, it's definitely helping out the 36 car. Keith Maedo still out on the track and still leading. He might even be able to come down pit road and take some fuel if he's not going to be able to make it to the end and still maintain the lead at this rate that these drivers are racing each other.
I think that might be a tall order. It's I think you lose about 15 or 20 seconds just bringing it down the pit lane alone, and that's about the difference between himself and the 27 of Zach Carr. Lap times are starting to, well, they're not really equalizing. It's still about 2 seconds a lap back end. I would expect that to close up even more. How about Dallas Sullivan? He can use that for a podium if he can hold off those drivers behind him. Take it on fuel. Currently 15 seconds behind the leader. Running pretty good lap times, actually 0.6 faster than Maedo. Ryan Gemmel's here in second, not looking like he's bringing it down, so top 3 remain on the track. Like they probably stretch it. They've committed this far. I don't expect them to bring it down. They know there aren't cautions. But it's not like they're planning in accordance to a yellow coming out. Maedo, he's trying to lay down as fast of a lap as he can, but really slowing up now, 117.2. That car 114.5, so that's almost 3 seconds. That rate, that car could get there. He just has to make sure he's not slowed up by Dallas Holt, Ryan Gemmel in front of him. It's getting interesting. This, I don't know how this strategy is going to work out. I think Maedo, if he can make it, should be able to win the race. He is losing time, that is for sure. He's slowest of the 3 drivers still on tires.
It's definitely an interesting call, and strategy does take a big part in these races, especially with the shortened fuel. And Watkins Glen also just a lot of times we see strategy play a big part in who wins these races. A lot of times drivers get very close to running out of fuel. I believe Chase Elliott's first win was when Martin Truex ran out of fuel behind him and just couldn't keep up with him at that point. So we see a lot of times fuel play a big part at this track.
Yeah, from what I recall in that one, they were both trying to stretch it on gas, and Chase had the clean air and able to run good laps. A couple mistakes in the end. He's got it very, very close, and definitely Truex running out of gas. Meant to for behind that race. Fun one to be at. But this one could go similar fashion. Maedo is really falling off. Ryan Gemmel actually closing up pretty quickly. He was half a second faster, which would be enough to get him to the race. But it's going to get him closer. Trying to keep himself away from the 27 of Zach Carr, who is closing up on Dallas Sullivan. Right there, Dallas Sullivan flies by. Zach Carr, Angelo Ronas, Chris Samard, and Alec Martinez trailing him. Seconds a lap faster. So just going to be a matter of time for Dallas. He's not going to be able to hold them off, so he does when they get there.
And one driver that just a very unfortunate night tonight, but has been able to maintain his position so far and is still in the top 10 is AJ Stravato. He was involved in both incidents, big ones in this race, and you can see it on his car, just heavy damage, but he's doing what he can to pull out a top 10 here tonight, and that's very impressive out of a driver when things do not go your way, to just keep the mentality there and just focus on the end goal and pull out a top 10.
And AJ really the only one close enough to battle for the regular season championship. He's He's less than 30 points behind that car coming in the race. He's doing his best to stay within touching distance. Just a few races left. They get to the point where it's going to be possible to win that regular championship. Right now, he is only one. He goes into the bus stop really deep right there. Able to get through it. Racing it up with Alex Pelican. At the moment, those two fighting for that top 10 spot. Bradley Wilson's able to hang on to 8th and doing a job right now. Here at the front. Second, he picked up even more on his teammate Keith Mayato, a second that lap. Mayato got back to Zach Carr, only 7.1 seconds, shrinking rapidly. 9 now. 8, it is just falling. He is really slow down these straightaways now, saving fuel, stretching those tires. He's a lot of time, even to Ryan Gemmel. Now closed up to 3 seconds flat. Gemmel will get his first race win of the season. Mayato runs out. Cruising right now. He is losing so much time. You can see that car on the same straightaway now. 2.8 seconds. Coming back to the white flag, though. This is going to be the last time around. Can 36 make it? Stays on the racetrack. Not going to come down pit lane. To run just 4.7 seconds faster than Zach Carr. 3 seconds faster than Ryan Gemmel. And white flag in the air for Keith Mayato.
2.5 more miles of fuel in that thing.
That is it. He could be sputtering actually coming out of turn 7. He might still be able to win it. Ryan Gemmel, an impressive race from him as well. He's probably going to end up second, assuming no major mistakes on this last lap. He can make it on fuel. That car somehow, some way, charging back up into the podium, and that is why he is leading this championship. So consistent this season. Really no bad races. Even when he has a bad race, he recovers.
And a scary moment there for Keith Mayato as the 12 car Michael Newman wrecks right in front of him. That was very scary, and that could have cost him big time right there.
Yeah, and that slowed up Ryan Gemmel a lot. The difference between Gemmel and that car, that's 1 second. So Ryan's got to be careful. He's got to watch his back here in these last couple corners as Mayato through turn number 6. The right-hander, turn number 7, back towards the front straightaway. The car's still under power. And he is going to roll out of there. It looks like half throttle, but he is going to cruise to the victory here at Watkins Glen. Keith Mayato takes the victory in second place. Ryan Gemmel, the VSPEED 1-2. That car rounding out the podium. What a recovery for him. What a great strategy race, and it worked out perfectly. Mayato and definitely an unusual Watkins Glen race. I don't think I've ever called one that went like this. And this, a lot of fun. Definitely hard to keep track of all the strategies and those guys coming and going. But Mayato, he played it right. He was 23 laps after not winning the stage. Victory here, his second of the season. Good in the points. That'll help him out headed into the playoffs. That'll add 5 more. He'll have the second most. The race win. You're going to go
to a great strategy call as well. I'm really impressed by that. It's hard to do that as a driver, thinking while you're in the car and knowing how much you have to save.
Yeah, and actually saving on a road course can be very difficult. His times really fell off at the margin. Pure speed that he had on the front side of the run worked out perfectly for him. So congrats to Keith Mayato. Be back to interview him, the rest of the top 3. Break.
We've been waiting for this moment. Generations of innovation all coming together in one place. A pedigree of more than 70 years of NASCAR Cup Series history, from the past to the present, from Petty to Earnhardt to Elliott. Today, There's no more waiting. The future of NASCAR is now. Drive the next-gen cars today on iRacing and step into the next generation of racing.
Back at the racetrack now with our race winner, Keith Mayato. Here with us. Mayato, Adam in the VSPEED booth. You got a copy?
10-4.
Well, Keith, you nailed the strategy here tonight at Watkins Glen. You had the speed as well. You start third in tonight's race. You lead the last 23 laps, and fuel mileage race there for you. You went on to win it. How worried were you there in those last few laps?
It wasn't more the last few. It was probably maybe 15 to go because I wasn't sure where Chris was and my relative, and also with Zach. And then once I saw them within the 20-second range and there was like under 10 laps to go, I'm like, okay, I'm safe. Like I'm a lap to the good. They're not picking up 2 seconds a lap. I should be fine. So it was like I said, it wasn't towards the end. It was in that spot where it's like, oh man, I think I missed my spot to my chance to pit and take the lead. But it worked out. They don't always work out with the fuel mileage races.
Definitely got that right here tonight. It was going to be difficult to save and be that as fast as you were. But we saw in stage one you were trying to track down your teammate. You definitely had the raw speed and pace here tonight. What was it about? Or what did you really have to do differently to save that extra fuel and tires on it?
I think just short shifting more than anything, because I tried clutching it and it was just a little too awkward. Clutching it to the corners, not like an oval where you can just clutch it. So it was just short shifting, letting off a little early. Like even when I got past Chris, I was starting to save at that point. Luckily I did, and I thought that's what he was doing too, because I'm like, well, they're not really catching me, and I feel like I'm driving a little hard right now. So I backed it off a little bit more, and then they were right on me, and that's when Chris started into the pits, and that's when it was all, mind games. Like, hey, I just got to stick to the plan. Even if I don't win, I can finish this race and just get a good result to stay within that try to get some bonus points would be, is what the plan is right now.
Yeah, and you've got 2 race wins now. That'll actually move you up the ladder in terms of playoff points. You second most behind Zach Carr, who has got more than anybody with the 4 wins, but got 1 more than AJ Stravato, so you'll be second in that regard. But a few more races before the playoffs start, and we go to Kansas next. How do you feel about going out there?
Should be a lot of fun as always. Hopefully it's not a single groove track. Hopefully we're able to move around and have some fun, because usually it is a real fun track, but it's very setup dependent.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I know you've been strong at really every track, and getting your second victory here tonight to cap this race off and home the checkered flag. Anybody want to give a shout out to for the victory here at the Glen?
Yeah, shout out to my teammates. Awesome to see Ryan finish second. I think Chris might have finished fourth, so good top 5 all around for VSPEED. VSPEED Garage for sponsoring the race tonight, and yourself, Adam, and Zach for doing an awesome job for the VSPEED broadcast.
Awesome, Keith. Well, congrats again. Second win of the season, and we'll catch you at Kansas.
Will do. Take care.
That was Keith Mayato. I talked to him last night. I know he said he didn't feel too excited about coming here compared to some of the other road courses, but definitely go to second place. That is going to be Ryan Gemmel. Zach, I believe you're with him.
Hey Ryan, this is Zach up in the VC booth. Do you have a copy with me, buddy?
Yeah, I have you.
Well, awesome. You had a great race tonight and a great strategy call. You and Keith, the only 2 drivers really to stay out and finish well, and the only other driver in that, Dallas Sullivan, also staying out. But a second place finish has got to feel really good tonight, especially after starting 8th and having to work your way up through the field. Can you explain the race tonight for me? Anything you think you could have done differently possibly to close in on that leader tonight?
I really don't know, to be honest with you. As soon as I realized it was going to be pretty tight on fuel, I backed off hard. Like, I was short shifting places and just riding third in places where I was normally shifting into second, just trying to save as much fuel as possible. And I backed up like 8 seconds to that little lead pack, and I think I was back to 6th or 7th at one point, just trying to save as much as I could. And I barely made it. I mean, I ran out of fuel on the backstretch after the checkered flag, so it was pretty close, and I have no idea how Keith saved enough to make it and maintained his lead like he did. I mean, I was kind of eating into it a little bit there at the end, but I think even then he still had a little more fuel than I did. So as far as strategy-wise, I don't know what I could have done different to get those extra couple seconds, because I was not going to make it if I pushed any harder.
Well, you did a great job conserving. I know that's not an easy thing to do, especially at a road course like Watkins Glen. Next week, we head into Kansas, and you're sitting comfortably in 3rd in points right now, and a second place finish should hold you in that 3rd place spot, and we're closing in on the playoffs. What are you looking forward to coming up to these next 2 weeks and possibly going into the playoffs with a comfortable margin without having to worry?
Yeah, I think my season as a whole has been, it feels like it's been up and down. I think I've only had 1 finish outside the top 10, but it's like, 1 week I'll be up front contending for the lead or leading laps, and then the next week I'll be struggling to stay in the top 10. So I think I've gotten lucky in cases. Today is a perfect example. If there was another 2 turns on the track, Zach Carr was going to beat me and I was going to run out of fuel. So but I'm hoping second place tonight is more of a, or I'm hoping it's more of a momentum boost than anything going into Kansas. I really like 1.5 miles, so I'm hoping I can close out and get that long overdue win. It's been a couple seasons since I found victory lane, so I'd like to get a win or maybe even 2 and ride that momentum into the playoffs.
Well, you're definitely getting close to that win, a second place finish tonight. Great job there, Ryan, and we really appreciate having you up here in the booth with us and doing this interview for us. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, shout out to you guys for doing such a good job week in and week out, broadcasting and putting the races on so everyone can watch. Shout out to Nick for putting on these races, and shout out to Blow the Double Yellow for sponsoring, and all my VSPEED teammates. And I would also, I'd like to apologize to AJ there for that incident going into the bus stop. We both kind of looked over it and agreed it was a racing deal, but it's still, we ran out of room, and he definitely got the worst end of it. So I hate to see his car tore up like that, but it is what it is, and we'll move on.
Well, it definitely wasn't the only car torn up tonight, and even you with a little bit of damage tonight managed to come home second. Thanks again, Ryan, and we'll talk to you later.
10-4. Thank you.
All right, second place finisher Ryan Gamble, his second runner-up finish of the season. Couple seats. Grab that next. Go to third place finisher now. That is going to be Zach Carr. Zach, this is Adam in the VSPEED. Got a copy?
I got a copy.
Well, Zach, it was recovery mode all race long for you, and you end up here on the podium. But it all went south there right after the first turn. Man, describe that drive back forward and the strategy there in the last little bit of the race.
Yeah, no, that first lap incident, I feel like it's a little bit more on my end than anybody else's fault there. I mean, I guess you could call it a racing deal. It was just really weird. Alec got loose from Keith, and I was already running out wide to let AJ have room because, everybody's driving in there as deep as they can, and I'd rather not get turned around. I wanted to get wide, so I gave everybody on the inside some room. And then when I got wide, I realized Alec was there, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to get around him. So I went to the outside, and at that point, I realized there was grass, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get back over. And then, I had to shoot over really quick, and then me and Alec made contact. Luckily, the only damage I got from that was on the right rear quarter panel area, so it didn't do any damage really at all. So once I got the car gathered back up and got back going, I was just trying to make sure I didn't get any after wreck incidents. Everybody trying to scatter and avoid everything. So I got past guys I could, and I think got up to about 9th there before that stage caution. Got on pit road, came out I think about 9th still, and then after that it was just attack mode from there on. And finally, after I got clear of some people at that first turn on the restart, me and Angelo, teammate, realized that, hey, we have a lot more long run pace than the guys that are leading. So we were just trying to give each other room, just slowly make our way up there, and then we couldn't really figure out the gas on how much gas we needed to make it to the end. So we seen Alec pit and we seen Chris pit, and I was like, well, I know it's gonna be close, but hey, if they're pitting, I'd rather overcut them, get some tires, and try to get out in front of them at the end of the run. And then by the time, I'd say 5 laps after we pit, we realized that the top two were going to stay out as long as they could. So I was just going as hard as I could. And I know a few times out there I could have made up those 3 seconds on them, but hey, I ended up third.
Yeah, and another podium finish. You have finished in the top 3 all but 2 races. Add that point on your way towards a regular. But we've got a few more races before we get to the playoffs. To Kansas next. How do you feel about going out there?
Well, Kansas is one of my better tracks, at least in the mile-and-a-half aspect. Unfortunately, it's a 550 package, so it's not my favorite, and I don't think it's going to play into my hands a great deal. But Vegas is another one where I didn't think it was going to play in my hands a great deal either. But hey, I came out of there with a win, so I guess I got to be excited, but I just got to be careful. Everybody's going to be grouped up on each other on the restarts, and just kind of got to avoid chaos and hopefully make it out of there with another win.
And that would be 5th if you could grab another one, but still leading the points by a good margin. Great race here tonight. After a long recovery, you end up back on the podium. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, my teammates, AJ, Reggie, Angelo. Unfortunately, Jeremy couldn't make it tonight. I know this is one of his better road courses. Kind of surprised he couldn't make it tonight, but hey. But yeah, shout out to my teammates, you guys for putting this on in the broadcast, league owners, and obviously sponsors. It's just great to have everybody aboard here and making this thing happen.
Awesome, Zach. Well, great race here tonight. Way to recover and keep at it, and it can definitely paying off for you. We'll catch you next week at Kansas.
Sounds good, Adam. Thank you.
All right, that is Zach Carr, 3rd place finisher, your points leader, and padding that point farther back, but tonight's race winner was Keith Mayato. Let's go through the rest of the results tonight at Watkins. 1 caution, that was for the stage break. We did have quite a few incidents here tonight, though, that count as yellows. 3 lead changes. 1 was from Chris Samard to Keith Mayato, and then also Michael Newman to Chris Samard, and then Chris Samard to Mayato again. So it was definitely the same characters up towards the front, but it ends up a strategy game in the end. Iotto taking the victory. Ryan Gemmel finished second spot. Zach Carr finishes third. Angelo Ronis finishes in fourth. Dallas Sullivan, very strong run. He finishes fifth here tonight, up from starting spot. Alec Martinez, he's able to muster up a top 10 finish with a damaged race car in sixth. Chris Samard finishes seventh. Bradley Wilson, a very impressive eighth place that'll help him in standings. And then got Anthony Pelican in ninth. AJ Stravato able to top 10 after being involved in a couple things. 11th was Alex Pelican, 12th Reggie Ortega, 13th Jeremiah Vincent, 14th Garrett Wolfbarger, 15th Timmy Emanuele, 16th Brett Sommers, 17th was in Sulfridge, 18th Watkins, 19th Brandon Pearl. Rounding out the top 20 was Michael Newman, 21st was Dennis Fairclough, 22nd Joshua Abbey. Third. So a bit of a wild race here tonight, but Zach, any final thoughts before we head out?
Yeah, definitely a wild race indeed. A great Watkins Glen race, coming down to strategy at the end, and Zach Carr definitely closing in as the first car on 4 tires. But looking forward to coming back to 1.5 miles next week at Kansas, and with the playoffs coming in, it's gonna start getting a little bit more aggressive, I think, and we might be seeing some moves late in races and even early on in races to possibly put yourself in a better position to advance.
It's definitely going to be aggressive and intense last few races to Kansas next week, and then it's North Wilkesboro, the short track. Charlotte is going to be the final race. That's going to be an endurance race. The Double Yellow Marathon 350, 225 laps at Charlotte to close out the regular season. And yeah, it's going to get wild. It's not a very wide points margin from about third on back to 15th, 20th. It's all pretty close, really. So guys are going to be scrambling. But I want to thank everybody tuned in tonight to the race. Hope you all enjoyed it out there. If you did, please consider following or liking right here on YouTube, and you can also find us at the different social media outlets on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or up there. You can check us out at vspeedsim.com to learn more about what we offer here. And of course, tonight's sponsor, VSPEED Garage, check us out over there on YouTube as well, Garage, and on Instagram. You can see automotive content, automotive repair content, and at real world racing. Thank you so much for tuning in, all the sponsors and everybody that makes this happen week out. Catch you all next week at Kansas.